Hello and welcome to this IChemE Global Awards 2021 webinar. My name is Mara Kefalopoulou and I will be your host for this webinar. The IChemE Global Awards celebrate chemical process and biochemical engineering excellence and are widely considered as the world's most prestigious chemical engineering awards. Today we will be revealing the winner of the IChemE Diversity and Inclusion Award sponsored by the chemical engineer. This award recognizes the organization or group that best demonstrates a commitment to promoting or improving diversity and inclusion within its workforce, sector, or business practices. Our awards judging panel has been working hard in recent weeks to review and rank all of the entries, and here are our finalists. Dow Consumer Solutions, Johnson Matthey, F. Hoffman Laroche, MES, and Wood. All our finalists have been invited to join us today to tell us more about the work and to answer your questions. You can get in touch at any point during the presentations using the GoToWebinar questions box on screen. So let's get started with our first finalist. We have a pre-recorded presentation from Dow Consumer Solutions.
We are Dow Consumer Solution Process R&D. In our daily job, we turn the silicon into something we can use in our daily lives, such as consumer products. We commercialize innovative products and develop process technologies that enable our customers globally to meet their needs. As you can imagine, these challenging endeavors to improve and innovate are no small feat, and we have many diverse and talented minds who contribute to making these breakthroughs possible. Diversity is only part of the equation, however. We need inclusion to make diversity work.
Respect for people is a key element at Dow. Inclusion and diversity initiatives align strongly with Dow's identity and are integral to the way we do business as a global company. Dow strives to create a work culture where people feel included and can show up as their full selves to work. The recent employee satisfaction survey indicated that while we're making progress, we still have work to do. The Process R&D Inclusion and Community Building Team, ICBT, is a localized grassroots committee designed to promote inclusion and diversity topics and to address this gap in our department's desired work culture.
Within Process R&D, we sought to develop a bottom-up approach to inclusion that would allow every individual to take ownership and contribute to a more inclusive company culture. Our motivation for organizing in this way was to promote a culture of psychological safety and cultivate a work environment that celebrates the unique differences of all our colleagues. The value of our effort was further increased by the need to foster a better sense of community during a year of physical distancing and high stress.
As a starting point for our organization's work, we first sought to gain more familiarity and understanding of each other's backgrounds and perspectives. Often, people may not feel very comfortable bringing their true selves to the workplace, and this hinders not only our personal growth, but also our relationship building and collaborations. Therefore, by understanding our peers' values and challenges, we can be more sensitive to how others experience the world.
Our approach to promoting improved inclusion within our department was based on two fundamental ideas. First, genuine inclusion conversations can only happen after a group has a certain level of trust and interest in understanding each other's background and experiences. Secondly, differences that can lead to exclusion are not limited to race, gender, or age. There are many different facets of diversity that are less commonly considered, such as the examples shown in this diagram.
To achieve our goal of promoting improved inclusion, we designed two peer-led small group discussion sessions to promote interaction and foster new connection among employees from different work groups. The first session was aimed at learning about each other's culture, background, and passion. In the second session, everyone was provided an opportunity to share their personal experiences in a judgment-free space. Those who were not comfortable sharing were instead invited to simply listen to their colleagues' experiences.
One of the major takeaways from these sessions was that treating others as you want to be treated may not always be the best course of action. Instead, taking the time to understand how someone prefers to be treated is the best way to be inclusive. Another common theme in our small group discussions was to ask, but do not assume. In fact, many individuals shared their desire to openly discuss common misconceptions, provided the inquirer has a sincere curiosity and willingness to learn.
Hearing about other people's experiences allowed attendees to identify blind spots and learn about challenges they personally had not experienced. These discussions helped others identify common issues and challenges that many of us have faced, leading to the realization that some challenges weren't unique to any one individual. The anonymous feedback we collected was submitted to leadership and is driving improved awareness and helping inspire top-down improvements. More informed decisions are being made to target specific aspects of the work environment or culture that may have otherwise gone unnoticed.
Going forward, our team is crafting a longer-term strategy to facilitate inclusion activities, along with determining the best method and frequency for maintaining an open dialogue between leadership and individual contributors. So far, our group has planned 2 events from the dialogue session feedback: personality profile assessments and mindfulness activities. The personality profile assessments will help individuals understand their own communication and working styles, as well as those of their coworkers. This will provide them with tools to better approach and engage with colleagues. The second event, a series of mindfulness activities, is designed to promote self-reflection, understanding of oneself, and de-stressing techniques which will help with community building.
Beyond the impact we have made in our organization, we inspired other groups throughout the company to host similar activities to promote inclusion and diversity within their organization. Fostering a great sense of connection and interaction is the core of our inclusion and community building team. We strive to connect our group and provide great resources for those looking for support on their allyship journey.
We started this journey with the intent of designing a one-time feedback session, but it has turned into a continuous effort that is already yielding benefits in our department. Gotta say that the effort that we put into creating a more inclusive culture for all employees is something that we truly enjoy. Of course, this wouldn't have been possible without the support of our leaders, who are passionate about employee well-being and inclusion. To close our presentation, we would like to share an inclusion moment that we conducted during a department-wide meeting, where anonymous, stereotype-breaking messages were collected in the form of "I am, but I am not," further reinforcing the message that we should get to know each other and avoid assuming.
Rogue Gorges joins us live from Dow and is happy to answer any questions you have about our first presentation. We'll pause for a moment now to give you a chance to get in touch via the questions box. And whilst I give you a moment on that, don't forget there are more IChemE Award webinars coming up throughout the next couple of weeks. You can find all the dates and times by visiting icheme.org/ Global Awards. We don't appear to have any questions. So next up, thank you very much, Rogue, for getting things started. So next up, presenting Johnson Matthey, please welcome Hadi Davis.
I hope you can all hear me and you can all see my screen.
Yes, Hadi, we can hear you and we can see your screen.
Oh, brilliant. I just wanted to say good afternoon, everyone. It's really lovely to be part of the awards presentation. And yes, I am a chartered member of the Institute, so it's an added honor to be here as well. I wanted to share with you the journey, I guess, a few of us have had in JM and the impact that has made towards our efforts on diversity and inclusion. So many of you on the call will never have forgotten the images or the videos that came through our screens and the airways on the 25th of May 2020. And that is when George Floyd died. And you could see the commotion, the chaos, and the disbelief. Now, it was not the first time perhaps a Black person was killed in that manner on the streets of the US. But for some reason, the fact that it was captured on camera made it, I guess, a bit more powerful. From that time, there was so many discussions about just diversity and inclusion, and it was so correct and apt in Dow's presentation. It is not just about diversity, but also feeling included, coming to the table just as you are. It was a brave idea from an employee. And I remember Obama saying in one of his quotes, change, it is you. You have to come to the table because change is waiting for you to make it happen. An employee came and said, Black employees have lived experiences across our business in JM, and we would like to share that. And through our then chair, Simone, we were able to have contact with yet again a brave executive sponsor. And it's crucial sometimes you have an idea as an individual from an organization, but even more powerful when a door, the way is paved for you by someone in the organization who can make a huge difference to the lives of all. Our executive sponsor, who is leading one of the sectors in JM, called Jane Toogood, was able to give us audience in their general members council. It was scary. We were 6 ordinary Black employees within JM. And there was actually a discussion that took place because at that time there was transformation going on in JM. And we made a joke that, are we going in? Is this a career risk? Amongst those 6 colleagues, 6 of us are engineers. And you know, as how engineering go, you look at the numbers, you look at the stats and the probability. Am I putting my neck on the line? But we had a shared passion and a shared vision. And that is, we wanted to see that discussions are taking place to highlight and raise awareness of lived experiences of Black colleagues throughout the organization. And this listening exercise, we were absolutely amazed. Our leaders in JM took it to the utmost seriousness, and they listened, in some cases disbelief, and in some cases joy, in that we had the opportunity to speak to our leaders about the things that matter to us most around respect, support from line managers, support from the infrastructure. That if support is given to one, then really it's not inclusive for all. So support should be for all of us. I remember coming out and feeling believed, heard, respected, and honored. And it was incredible because from then, our CEO really took to the airways within JM, Robert McLeod, and he reinforced his support and explained to us that diversity and inclusion in the heart of a company whose vision is for a world that is cleaner and healthier for today and future generations. It is our science, our sustainable technology that marks us, sets us apart in JM. In the world, 1 in 3 cars have our catalyst to clean up the air. And for that is done through the amazing people. So for us, we hold inclusion at the highest of levels. And that message came through loud and clear, because that message was not just words, but in action we saw the impact. 3 months later, Johnson Matthey appointed its first ever global head of D&I. So when we went to the GMC, the General Counsel, we brought lived experiences of Black colleagues. But I'll tell you now, the lived experiences of Black colleagues are not unique to Black employees. Because in fact, when we looked at all of our employee resource groups, when lived experiences are brought to the table, it is very similar. As human beings, we need respect, we need mutual consent, and also included in the spaces that matter to us most. And those things coming to the table as your whole self and bringing all that you can to work, to give 100% to business and to be your true 100% self is so critical for progress. We paved the way. Our Pride in JM network was able to also have this listening exercise with the GMC. And again, fantastic report was given. The impact will go on for generations to come. And it was from that shared place. Yes, one can call it bravery, but it was scary at the time. And so my encouragement to us all, as we do science, as we look to sustainability and cleaning up the air and reaching our net zero targets in every company that we're in, we remember our people. It is our people that make the difference. It is our people that drive the technology and the science, and making them feel included no matter who they are, from where they're from, that will drive huge success in business. So I thank you all and will happily take any questions that you have for me.
Thank you, Hadi, for your presentation. Once again, it's time for your questions. So please, if you'd like to put a question to Hadi, please type it into the questions box now. We don't appear to have any questions. So thank you very much, Hadi. We are going to move on to our third finalist of the day, presenting F. Hoffman Laroche. Please welcome Jessica Bench.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to present to you Culture Coalition Humans of Roche. This is the first global, colleague-led, values-focused movement ever in our organization. Roche is a global pioneer in pharmaceuticals and diagnostics, focused on advancing science to improve people's lives. We are a 125-year-old organization headquartered in Basel, Switzerland. We have nearly 100,000 employees worldwide. In February 2020, Roche outlined its 10-year ambitions. These ambitions provide us with a long-term direction and represent how we look to deliver on our purpose, doing now what patients need next. Specifically, we want to double down on innovation and become the most valuable healthcare company. We know that they are bold. We know that every colleague in the organization has a role to attain these ambitions. We recognize also that contributing to society starts with how we treat each other in the hallways of our organization. A strong culture in any organization is the cornerstone of achieving results. Culture is something we do not see, but it affects everyone. It's what motivates us to bring our best to work. Our values, our Roche values of courage, passion, and integrity includes diversity and inclusion, which is the top of our agenda and is the bedrock, the fundamentals of everything we do. But it's not just enough to say the words. Our culture comes alive through not only our words, but through our actions. It's a bit like having the perfect car to win a race. Without the right pit crew to help, a crew that is coordinated, trusts each other, empowered to speak when everything is needed, without that perfect pit crew, then it's more challenging to win the coveted race and reward. At Roche, we have many important initiatives and lots of different frameworks that have developed over the years, encouraging all of us to express our thoughts. We've had numerous speak up initiatives, and all the efforts around employee well-being have been incredible, have been remarkable, and we have started to deepen our conversations. But similar to what we see in many organizations, employee engagement surveys over the years, particularly during the pandemic, pointed to a pervasive issue where the culture on the ground is not necessarily aligned to our stated values. And colleagues have highlighted concerns specifically about expressing their thoughts due to fear of negative consequences. And despite leaders inviting colleagues to speak up, people don't feel free at times to express themselves. And so a lot of feedback came through anonymous channels. And this significantly diminishes our ability to be responsive and affect appropriate change. So we knew that there is an organizational need that we wanted to address in service of our 10-year ambitions. Nearly 1,000 days ago, a group of colleagues came together, 30 colleagues, with all our strength, with all our boldness, came to the stage and kicked off the Culture Coalition. Our aim is to live and safeguard the Roche core values. And in order to live up to them, we need to address psychological safety, a feeling that one can express their thoughts without fear of negative consequences. Our vision is to create a deliberate, unified, company-wide approach. And by prioritizing, measuring, monitoring psychological safety, we create a responsible, inclusive, sustainable workplace culture that enables values to live fully for everyone. We do this because we truly care. Tim McClure is quoted as saying, "The biggest concern for any organization should be when their most passionate people become quiet." We are proud to work for Roche, and we know it starts in the hallways, but we can create the ripple from our hallways into society. Now, the innovation underpinning Culture Coalition is in the fact that we want to reach every single one of our 100,000 people organization. And so we have done a big bang approach, bottom up, top down, side to side movement, instead of the traditional top down mandate. And over these last years, we have orchestrated 7 global events to create that wide scale momentum to drive the change. On average, 1,500 to 2,000 have watched our events. We have done countless numbers of focus groups sessions in every continent, centered on the message of courageous authenticity. We have done videos called The Making of Culture Coalition to help spread the message further. We write articles, we do blogs and polls and posts very regularly. And of course, we're speaking with leaders at the highest levels. And by the way, did I mention, we do this on our time. We do this voluntarily on top of our jobs. And the message seems to resonate because we've had more than 20,000 engagements at all levels, all functions, from more than 100 locations across Roche. And the feat of all of this is we have done this from a grassroots perspective with no formal sponsorship at the top. We have created a framework together with our events, a framework that we, in order to ensure psychological safety is prioritized, measured, and monitored. It does take a multifaceted company-wide approach. And we have done speaking engagements in other organizations to help them develop their own engagement strategies. We believe very much in individual responsibility, but essentially with our movement, we are as well shifting and addressing this topic from individual responsibility perspective into one that is collective accountability. At Roche, we believe that we collectively create, build, and evolve our working culture. As a coalition, we have embodied the core values in everything we do. The sheer act of building a colleague-led team in a 125-year-old organization is an example of values in action. This team, our team, has been very influential because of our authentic leadership and the deep belief that this cause is a moral imperative. And this message has resonated with the thousands of colleagues. And colleagues are now challenging each other and leaders by bringing to the spotlight the current issues, real stories, real people, real human stories, not just the homogenized examples. And now this has invited a new transparency around the results of our surveys, encouraging people to contribute feedback more freely. As I mentioned, our team has voluntarily committed to this effort for years. Sometimes we are met with traditional behaviors, and it is a challenge to trailblaze the way while building synergies internally to meet the business aims. But we are thankful that as an organization at Roche, we are supported in our efforts. Culture change does not come overnight. This is a long-term effort, and it does take enormous conviction and determination to keep going. Our story is not complete, but we know we will get there. This is a slide we show at every one of our global events. We have heroes across our company who are part of this story, who truly believe that there are people who are unable to express their thoughts. But we also know that we can unlock this opportunity together, not by sitting by the sidelines, but by leading the way. And so we carry this flag, and we're united in the determination and the focus that we will get there. And we do this not just for ourselves, for our company, but for society. And we know that this is the right thing to do. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you today.
Thank you, Jessica. You know the drill by now, so please, if you have any questions for Jessica, just get in touch via the questions box. And whilst I give you a moment on that, the winner of these awards will have a chance to lift the second prize before the end of the month. All our team award winners qualify as finalists for our top prize, the Outstanding Achievement in Chemical and Process Engineering Award. We will be announcing the winner of that award on Friday, 15 October. So I don't see any questions. So thank you again, Jessica. It's time now to move on to our fourth presenter. From MES, it's Manisha Maurice.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining today, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm Manisha, and I'm a fellow of the IChemE, and it's a real honour to be here today to present what we're doing at MES as part of our diversity and inclusion strategy, and also our internationalisation efforts. So for those that aren't aware, MES is an international consultancy, and over a 15-year lifetime, MES has developed its team from a solely UK-based employer to a global leader by remaining up-to-date and flexible to changes in the market. Now, when we talk about changes in the market, we see that with COVID occurring and many people working online, the connections across the globe has increased significantly to an extent where we are talking to more individuals and professionals and businesses from more diverse backgrounds, and we're a little bit more connected than we used to be. So this image on the right basically shows some of the offices that we have dotted across the globe. And today's session will be mostly focused on our presence in Kazakhstan, Oman, and Malaysia. So MES has been supporting the industry with vital process safety, risk assessment, and asset integrity skills development and general sustainability. And coming from the IChemE, we all know that process safety, risk assessment, and asset integrity play key parts in many operations and projects globally. But while we do that and while we get involved in all of these studies, it's really important that we remain diverse and inclusive for the benefit of the individuals that work for the business, but also society. So MES has been providing people from less privileged backgrounds a chance to prosper in their engineering careers. And there's a number of examples across our offices where you'll see that individuals have had offices to relocate to other offices, work on different projects across the globe, and get involved in activities that they usually wouldn't have the opportunity to do so. So what have we been doing to take meaningful action? I think the key thing with diversity and inclusion is that while many companies will present their strategies and activities that they're getting involved in, it's really important to focus on where the real action is and where the real benefit is for the individuals, for the business, and for society. So we've been involved in internationalization, where we've been providing in-country value in regions such as Kazakhstan, Malaysia, and Oman. And this in general has been to support major operators in the energy industry in process safety, risk assessment, and asset integrity. But also there's been local content initiatives to ensure that we're developing engineers in the regions and giving them opportunities to start engineering careers and with the support and skills development that they otherwise wouldn't have received. We've been actively recruiting for diversity in gender, nationality, ethnicity, languages spoken, and age. And these are just some examples of diversity. We're looking at lots of different aspects of diversity, and it's not about recruiting the same type of individual from a particular background. We really feel that we benefit as a business by encouraging diverse workforces. So just to give you an example, we have 18 nationalities, 19 ethnicities, 26 different languages spoken, and this is quite impressive for an SME business that serves global projects. Another initiative we've been getting involved in is speaking at international universities about chemical engineering careers and sharing the importance of joining professional engineering institutions such as IChemE. And the reason why we believe this plays a key part in being diverse and inclusive is that we know that we need to ensure that the message is shared with the next generation of engineers. We reach out to a diverse pool of engineers who are looking to move into the industry and ensure that we give them a good start. We encourage them in as many opportunities as possible, and also get them connected to the chemical engineering community. Number 4 here is that we actively encourage and support chartership and fellowship. One of the things that we are struggling with in the industry, in my opinion, is that we typically look at individuals and then we think that, okay, this will potentially help us meet our diversity and inclusion targets. But the reality is that, you know, we need to, at the end of the day, if we are a business and we need to support our engineers to deliver a particular value, we need to encourage our engineers and support our engineers in becoming chartered and becoming fellows, because then that in itself presents the credibility and the recognition to the wider world. And I think that this is something that we've been heavily pushing internally and externally to ensure that not only is MES integrated in the industry, but also supporting the wider cause of professional development of engineers. And number 5 that we wanted to point out here is we've been supporting diversification of the Energy Industry Council's Board of Directors. So we at the moment have representation at the Energy Industry Council Board of Directors, and we've been involved in interviewing and the selection processes to help diversify the board so that the voice of people from different backgrounds is heard at board level, and also recognised that process safety, risk assessment, asset integrity, engineering are all really quite key inputs to big business decision making within different sectors such as energy. My presentation was fairly short, so thank you for listening, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, or happy to take any email or LinkedIn messages after the session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manisha, for your presentation. So yeah, if you'd like, please if you have any question to Manisha, please do so by get in touch via the questions box. And whilst we wait, if you've been suitably inspired by today's presentation, it might be time to start thinking about your own awards entry for next year. Keep an eye on the IChemE website for more details, but we plan to open for entries in early March 2022. So, right then, let's move on. So thank you again, Manisha. We have reached our last presentation of the day. From Wood, please welcome Sami Ben Ali and Mary Scorer.
Thank you. Hopefully you can see the slide.
Good morning.
Excellent. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're dialing in from. My name is Sami Ben Ali, and I'm the Vice President for Inclusion and Diversity here at Wood. First of all, we're honoured and pleased to be nominated for this award, and a big thank you. And at Wood, in case those of you not aware, we're a world-leading consultancy and engineering company operating across energy and the built environment. And so what we want to present to you today is what we've been doing in the inclusion and diversity space, and what we're calling education, empathy and engagement. And so we have a framework that we've been using in order to help our population of 40,000 employees across 60 countries. And we have a framework that we've called entitled Myriad. The Myriad stands for My Role in Inclusion and Diversity. And what we've looked to do is implement this and use this as a way for everyone to be able to get involved and have personal ownership and responsibility in helping us move the dial in inclusion and diversity. That's centered around what we're calling the 3 E's, around educate, empathize and engage. And really the 3 E's are to understand that we'll always be educating ourselves and each other in this space, in order to empathize with each other, in order to engage in conversation and initiatives. And what this has enabled us to do is really weave the 3 E's into all our content and activities, and also link it directly to our values as well, which are care, courage and commitment, where we care to empathize with each other and we commit to educate continuously, and we have the courage to engage. And for those of you who may be interested in the logo is very much an inclusive exercise to involve people from our organization. And the logo is the W for Wood, upside down. And the pattern there that you see for educate is to be splashed with knowledge and continually educating ourselves. And the pattern in the middle is that of a fingerprint. And why is it a fingerprint? Because that's something that's unique to us, but at the same time, something that we all share, similar to our experiences. And engagement, well, engagement can be sometimes messy. It's not necessarily straightforward. And there's plenty of ways that we can do that. And so what I want to do now is pass on to my excellent colleague, Mary Scorer. She's a senior process engineer, and she's also a co-chair of our Race and Ethnicity Network. We'll be able to delve a bit deeper into some of our activities and initiatives that we've been doing.
Thank you, Sami. Thank you very much to IChemE for the opportunity to present on behalf of Wood today. Thank you very much to the presenters. I've really enjoyed your presentations. and it's just a great honor to be here. So Sammy's covered the launch of Myriad, which we had earlier this year. We've also launched the Conscious Inclusion webinar that was launched by Wood CEO Robin Watson. And much like a lot of the companies on the call, there's been a lot of activity in our I&D work stream. There's been engagement. It's been top down. There's been bottom up. There's been sideways movement. And it's really been encouraging to see all the people get involved in the conversation. We've had numerous awareness sessions where people have just been able to learn about lived experiences, either from employees internally or from external speakers. And we've also launched a new I&D intranet page that has many resources for people to access and use as a starting point for the I&D conversation. Wood also focuses on fostering diversity at a grassroots level to facilitate a diverse pipeline of future employees. Emphasis on STEM initiatives and graduate training provide a means to support young engineers starting out in their careers. Wood implements an accredited training scheme designed to enable new graduate engineers to obtain the necessary post-academic industrial training required to undertake their work in a professional and proficient manner, covering all the necessary requirements to achieve chartership. Wood has also introduced many ways for mentors and mentees to meet. This ties into our globalization goals. Wood recently launched a new mentoring app that's connecting people across the globe. And one of our employee-led networks is piloting a reverse mentoring scheme. Some of our engineers are also mentoring university students through AFBE UK. Also, our inclusion webinar has been translated into many languages, and this is being rolled out across the globe. This is facilitating the involvement and engagement from many of our employees all over the world. Heavily entrenched in Wood's sustainability goals are inclusion and diversity targets. Wood recognizes that navigating through change related to the energy transition requires diversity of thought and the power of difference. The nature of the energy industry is changing, and while it's necessary to meet the energy demands of the world we live in today, it's vitally important to lessen, mitigate, and avoid the adverse impact that the energy industry has on the environment and its contribution to global warming. Wood acknowledges its responsibility to the communities that we live and work in, and the key role that we play in fighting climate change. The future of Wood requires diverse representation. This will ensure balanced perspectives required for crucial decision-making, weighing the interests of all parties involved. From Wood employees to our suppliers, customers, investors, allies, and the wider community. At Wood, we believe the power to create a better tomorrow starts with all of us. Thank you very much. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer. And Sammy, if I've missed anything, please do go ahead.
That's great, thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you, Sam and Mary, for your presentation. So yeah, for the final time today, we will pause for questions. Once again, if you would like to get in touch, please use the questions box. Okay, then let's move on. And we have reached the moment that we've all been waiting for. It's time to find out the winner of the IChemE Diversity and Inclusion Award, sponsored by the chemical engineer. Before we do that, I'd like to thank all our finalists for joining us today and for taking the time to share more details about their fine work. Let's start by announcing our highly commended entries, and they are Dow Consumer Solutions, and Hoffman Laroche. Congratulations and well done to everyone associated with those entries. But now it's time to announce the award winner. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the IChemE Diversity and Inclusion Award, sponsored by the chemical engineer, is Wood. Congratulations to everyone who worked on the winning entry. Sammy and Mary, I hope you're still with us. If I can get you back and tell us how does it feel to be an IChemE Award winner?
Well,
fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, good job I'm sat down, or I think I'd have fallen over. So yeah, thank you very much. And there's plenty of people we want to thank as well. Certainly Mary, from my point of view, everyone that helped put together the award as well. Kelly Potts, the comms team, Steve. I forgot his surname. Mary, you helped me out.
Yeah, Steve Harrow, my department manager, and my line manager, Eleanor Cross, who are both very supportive in all the inclusion and diversity initiatives happening in Wood and encouraging us as engineers to get involved. So thank you very much to both of them.
And Lisa Farrell, President of Culture and Inclusion at Wood. And yeah, this is for everyone at Wood who's continuing to make a difference. And a massive thank you to the chemical engineer and the IChemE Awards. Thank you.
Well, congratulations once again. And thank you to everyone for joining us today, especially to all our finalists. We have still plenty more IChemE Awards webinars to come over the next few weeks. We will be back tomorrow with our process automation and control and our industry project award webinars. I hope you can join us. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.